What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video for this Saturday, June 22nd edition. We are back with another video. Guys, hopefully these videos help you. If they do, there's very many avenues to let us know. Whether or not it's in our Discord, which you can find the link down below. You can comment here to let us know how you've done. You guys have hit me up on our email and Twitter. You guys have donated, you've tipped, you've signed up for FTA+, you've done it all. And I want to thank you. Because for you guys, this is what I do. So I make these videos for you. And a lot of people have been asking questions back and forth. And I've been able to answer most of them, I think. If I miss questions, I do apologize. I'm super busy. Outside of this, but I wanted to just tell you that without you guys, this channel wouldn't exist. I was doing baseball videos 2 summers ago, and the videos were getting like 100 views, and I was still doing it. I was still knocking out content, but like I did shut the channel and the website down for the entire baseball season, and through I don't even think we did football season that year. So it was a whole year of nothing. But you guys have re-energized everything. And every single video, all the views that it gets, all the likes that these videos get, I want to say thank you. If you're new to the channel, that probably doesn't mean anything to you. But hopefully later on down the road, that will mean something to you. However you found the channel, YouTube home, recommended, you saw it, shared, Twitter or X or YouTube, whatever it was, welcome. If you don't know what we do, a little bit different than other DFS channels. As you've already seen from the timestamp on the video, it is a longer video than what you're used to. It is a hopefully helpful video. So sometimes I have good takes, sometimes I have bad takes. And I'll let you guys know that. I'm right or wrong. I'm not 100% right all the time, obviously, because I'd be a billionaire by now playing DFS. But we go through everything. So we go through every single game on the slate. We go through all of the pitchers. We go through the bats that we like. And people have asked, the bats that I do like, there's some that we go over, and then people are like, hey, I want you to dig in a little bit more. If I dug in that much for every bat that we liked, the video would be 5 hours long. But FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, a ton of free information, player projections, simulation models, Vegas odds, batter splits, it is all there. So take what I've got and what I'm giving, write them down or whatever you want to do, then correlate them with the stats, the projections, the simulations, the cheat sheet, the targets, everything that are there. If that's helpful, now I will admit, if this was my full-time job and this paid the bills, I would dig in as much as possible. I would make a 5-hour show every single day for you. It's just not feasible at this time. Maybe in the future I will. But again, I've got to get sponsors on these videos. I've got to get the support to be able to live off of this. So good thing we have timestamps on these videos now. So maybe some of you are not even seeing what I'm talking about. You're just clicking on the timestamp to the winners, clicking on to everything else. But for the people that are real and you know who you are, the OGs, I saw there was a comment. So the dashboard for YouTube shows let's see what it was, shows like some YouTube subscribers. Like, just looking at this, Aaron Rasmus, you've been a YouTube subscriber to this channel for 5 years, does not go unnoticed. 2019, like, just seeing some of these latest comments, some of these subscribers, knowing that you've been here. There is one, and then like Cam SoFly 86, 4 weeks of subscribers. So it's just a lot of different combinations. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It does help out. It helps out with any sponsors that we may have, and so on and so forth. But if you are new to the channel, we have giveaways every single video. 2 ways to win every single day. The first way, like the video, be a subscriber, and just leave a comment. Preferably a positive comment, but there have been negative comments, we'll say, that have won due to the algorithm. Whether or not they come and show that they're the winner or not, that's on them. But if the video gets at least 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That is a week of MLB we've got MLB today. We've got MMA. We've got in NASCAR this weekend. PGA still going on. We have everything. Once NFL is back, we love NFL. I am going to make better videos than I did last year, and I'm going to make more consistent videos than I did last year for NFL. So every single week, breaking it down with the matchup tool. That'll be a video. Rankings for season long. That'll be a video or videos, a series of those. I haven't not decided yet, but I want to make videos for you guys. So if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. But if this video gets at least 100 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free $30 monthly pass. That includes DFS and sports betting. If the video gets at least 150 likes, you have a chance to win a $200 yearly pass. And if this video or any video gets 200 or more likes, you've left a comment, and you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass worth $500. So we have 2 coupon codes currently going right now. Anyone looking at purchasing a yearly pass, normally $200, if you go to FTA or FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, go to FTA Plus right here, and if you click on the yearly pass, instead of $199, use the promo code BIRTHDAY, all one word, all capital letters. You will get $100 off the yearly pass. I believe there are 4 coupon codes left. If you're on the fence about it and you want to get a monthly pass, instead of $29.99, you can use the promo code YouTube, all one word, all capital letters. You'll get $10 off for the monthly pass, and that includes every single sport. So what we're going to do is we are going to run the winners through here real quick, 2 of them. So the first one's because yesterday's video got at least 50 likes. With that being said, it's the likes that how many likes the video has by the time the main slate locks is normally how we do it. So that's going to be the first one. Even if it has the keyword in there, that'll be what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about, the keyword, somewhere in this video, the second way to win, there's going to be a keyword that I'm going to say, all you got to do is type that in one time, get it in there, and you will be able to have a chance to win a free week. So this is going to be just because it got a minimum of 50 likes. And the winner is Steve Willer 7210. So the keyword was green, but this was only for the views. So Steve, email me dfshelp1@gmail.com with a username. If you have I think you have a username on the website, let me know what that is, and we will get you set up for your free pass. And we're going to pick another winner. It could be Steve again. We've never had the same person win 2 days, or the same, but Sergeant Saint 228. Green was the keyword from yesterday. So please send that email to let me know you saw this, and let me know your username on the website, and we will set you up. And that's as simple and as easy as it is. So that being said, we are going to dig in. Unfortunately, it's broken up into like 3 separate slates for the day. We got 15 games to go over. We've got the pitchers. The majority of the pitchers are already out there. We're going to dig in. The other segment that we started 2 days ago is Pitches Be Crazy. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the top 5 pitchers that have the best matchups against the opposing team who strike out the most in the games. And we're going to go over that. So that will be a chapter, bookmark, whatever you want to call it, on this video as well towards the end. And then at the end of the video, we run 10,000 simulations during this video. Towards the end of the video, we're going to give you the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations, and then we're going to go over all of the bats that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating as well. So if you find this video an 1 iota worth of helpfulness, let us know by liking that video, subscribing, sharing the videos. Let's get going. So first part of the day, we got Drew Thorpe versus Kenta Maeda. We got the White Sox at the Tigers. Normally, we like to take pitchers against the White Sox because it's helped us dominate this year. I'm not so sure about Maeda being that guy. Comes in with a 6.02 ERA. Just faced Houston, 1.1 innings. Went 5 innings there, gave up 4 earned runs. Against Washington, 4 innings, 1 earned run, but they ended up losing 5-4 in that game. The strikeouts are low. He's had 1 game of 5, 1 game of 6 here, and then a 1-0-1, 1-5-5-2-5. So tournament-wise, maybe you could look at Maeda here because maybe he gets 5 strikeouts, maybe 6 strikeouts. But he's already faced the White Sox once this year. Only lasted 3.1 innings, 6 earned runs, given up minus 5.3, and that was against a very bad Chicago White Sox team. I just do not trust him enough. Even at 6,900, I'm not paying down for him at that much. I would rather look at the White Sox as a sneaky stack here. And then we look at Drew Thorpe, making, I believe, his third start of the year. Did not go very well against Arizona. 3.1 innings, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 0 strikeouts, had 5 walks, did not do well in that game. And then against Seattle, did pretty good. 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts, got some fantasy points there. This is probably a game I am not looking at the pitching. I am looking just at the bats. I do not trust the pitching enough in this game whatsoever, especially on a smaller 3-game slate to start the day. No weather concerns as of now, but again, we know weather can turn on a dime. The White Sox bats I would look at against Maeda would be Luis Robert Jr., Andrew Vaughn, and I would probably go with, it is between Corey Julks or Tommy Pham. Now, if you want to dig in a little bit more and you want to see which of these batters do well against right-handed pitchers or left-handed pitchers, you can go to the website, under the MLB tab, go to batter splits, and it breaks it down between each, all of the batters that do well against left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers, and it will only have the batters who have a minimum of 40 plate appearances, because then you really get a feel for it, and that is this year's stats, not last year. So that's another way to dig in a little bit more. Again, if it was a full-time job, I would go through every single team, every batter that does well against righties and lefties. I just don't have the time in these videos yet. Yet is the key word. If I can get some sponsors that pay for some of these videos, I will be able to build upon these videos. So if you guys know any sponsors, as long as you know it's legit, not like porn, let them know or come with me. So, second game, San Francisco at St. Louis. We have got Jordan Hicks facing his former team, one of his former teams, versus Miles Mikolas. Now, we look at Jordan Hicks, second highest priced guy, 2.82 ERA. We weren't really sure what he was going to do coming from the bullpen now. The problem is he's 8,000, and what you're looking for basically at this price, you're looking for 2.5 times value. So we're looking for at least 16.5, basically minimum floor of 16 fantasy points. You would like to see 20 plus here. He has not gotten that since May 25th against the Mets in a pitcher's park. Now he's against his former team in St. Louis. Without seeing what the ballpark factors are, if the wind's blowing out, I don't know if we can trust him enough, especially 8,000. But St. Louis generally like to take the majority of St. Louis bats against lefties. We got Jordan Hicks going against his former team. Probably gets a standing ovation. I don't know. Who knows? Tournament-wise, I'm okay with Jordan Hicks. Obviously, you would love to see more out of him there. Then you got Miles Mikolas, a 4.59 ERA. Has not faced San Francisco this year at home. A 4.59 at home, 4.59 on the road. Is coming off a really good game. We did use him against the Cubs at 23.9 and 26 against Pittsburgh. But again, it will really depend on what the weather is doing. I kind of am looking at... I think I'm going to give the edge to the Giants bats here a little bit. A Matt Chapman. Elliot Ramos has been absolutely murdering lately. Patrick Bailey's another one I would look at. If you want to finish off a 5-man stack for DraftKings, Michael Conforto and Mike Yastrzemski, those would be the ones I'd look at. Just depending. Those would be the guys I'd look at. St. Louis bats, if you think Jordan Hicks is not going to have a good game and he's going to get lit up, Brendan Donovan's got to be at the top of my list. He's always in the box score lately. I would look at Alec Burleson. Nolan Gorman would be another one. Those would be like the guys, because outside of that, people are paying up for Nolan Arenado. People are paying up for Goldie. So I get that. But you got to get a little bit cheaper to be able to afford these guys here. Then the final game of the Mets at the Cubs, we saw Amanaga get absolutely rocked, I think, for 10 runs on Friday. Coming back down to earth now, I think his ERA went up a full 1 point on it. So we look at that. The Mets, if this game were in Chicago, or in New York, I would like a little bit better. But we got Meagle, who's crazy at the top of the list at 8,300, versus Tyon. Now, Meagle being on the road, he has not faced the Cubs this year, has only made 6 starts so far this year. Away games does have a 5.40 ERA. It's a little skewed there. Obviously not much with only 10 innings pitched. 6 earned runs. It will really depend on if the Cubs bats decide to show up today. Looking at his price, I mean, he's San Diego game, 17.1. The Miami game, 15.7. Then we had a stinker at Washington, 9.3. But a good one against the Dodgers, 31.4. So he's been able to pitch some big games against some big teams that are, it's kind of crazy. Tournament-wise, I do not mind Meagle. Again, though, this is in Chicago. If the wind is blowing out, that is a problem. And then you got Tyon. He's been up and down this year, 3.08 ERA. Not really a good start against the Cardinals, but a great start against Tampa Bay. Got shelled by the White Sox, which is wild. So he's had, some good games, some bad games. Having already faced the Mets once this year, he did go 7.1 innings there. 1 earned run, but only 1 strikeout. Still got 13.5, but again, 1 strikeout, not doing much. And now this is in a hitter's park. I'm probably... Meagle may be a tournament option for me. Probably looking at some bats in this one. I'm looking at Brandon Nimmo. I believe he had a home run yesterday. JD Martinez had a home run yesterday. And, I mean, they were just flicking the bat, and that ball was just absolutely flying out there. It was wild. Lindor would be another one I'd look at. Francisco Alvarez, if he's in there, I do not mind him as a catcher. And you can always find a cheap option in Mark Vientos or Jose Iglesias, really depending on what infield they play there. So those would be the ones that I'd even target if I'm targeting Mets bats. Then the Cubs bats that I would look at, Seiya Suzuki against Meagle is one. Ian Happ is another one. I like the lefty-righty matchup there. I would look a little bit at Cody Bellinger to be the 3. And then if you're trying to find some value in this lineup, Chris Morel or David Bodie, depending on the weather, the simulations that show up. Like, these will all change a little bit throughout the day once we get the weather report. If the wind is blowing in, obviously we're going to like the pitchers a little bit more. And luckily, this is an early game in the day. So everything should come around pretty early in the day. Depending on when you're watching this video, we have MMA content. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it will depend. Obviously, it locks, I think, at noon Eastern today for Saturday instead of, I think last week was 6 Eastern or 5 Eastern. So it's a little bit earlier today. So depending on when you watch this video, definitely go check out the MMA content as well. We got sports bets there as well under the sports bets tab. So looking at this, tournament-wise, I think both pitchers are tournament only. I don't even know if I'm going to play this early slate here. It's very early. It's a weird Saturday slate. I won't lie. I'm not sure if I'll be playing that. But honestly, looking at this early turbo slate, the only pitchers I'm not using are Mikolas, Thorpe, and Maeda, and then I will have some combination of Meagle, Hicks, and Tyon there. Then we get to the actual early slate. It's a 7-game or 8-game early slate. Looking at some weather, I think we should be good. Overall, there's some clouds, but we got some domes here. We should be good overall for the weather. For whatever reason, this game we cannot play. DFS-wise. I'm not really sure why. It's a weird time. It's in between the 2:20 and the 4:05. Or wait, we can play it, right? Yeah, we can. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Kansas City, Texas. We don't know who's pitching. They think it's going to be Scherzer coming off the IL. He will. Okay, so Scherzer is making his debut off the IL. Not really sure if he's going to be on a pitch count. Clear. It's unclear if he's going to be on a pitch count. That's the problem. We don't know if he's going to be on a pitch count. I'm probably... Tournaments, okay, you could throw him in there. He's 8,500, though he has not pitched since last year before getting hurt. That scares me here. I don't know if he's going to be on pitch count. I don't want to pay up for that much. So I'm probably fading Scherzer, even if he is pitching in this one. And then they think it's going to be Michael Wacha. He might just need... So it should be Michael Wacha here. He does come in. He doesn't have the best matchup. He's already faced Texas once this year. Only lasted 3.2 innings. 7 earned runs there. A 17.18 fantasy or ERA with a minus 5.8. So as much as I'm not going to take pitching in this one. I'm going to give the bump to the Rangers bats, but I will have some Kansas City bats as well because I just don't know what Scherzer is going to do. So the Kansas City bats that I absolutely love, obviously Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez are going to be my top two. They're very expensive, so you're going to have to offset that with some guys. Pasquantino, MJ Melendez, or even a Kyle Isbell. Nelson Velasquez could be a cheap option too, but I'm going to stick with the top three, Perez, Bobby Witt, and Pasquantino. If you do want to go a full Kansas City stack, there are different ways to do it. You're going to have to find some of that value there because, again, we know that Scherzer is a really good pitcher when he's healthy. He seems like he's healthy now. He's just coming back. I don't know if I can trust him. But, again, he could have a 10 strikeout game. You never know. And then the Rangers, I think probably my favorite stack of the day over the entire day. Because Michael Walker has not had success against them, and he's coming back off the IL. Corey Seager's my number one. Adolis Garcia is my number two. Those are my top two. Love Jonah Heim. I love that lefty bat there against Michael Walker. Love Nate Lowe as another lefty bat there. Then you got to get Wyatt Langford in there. Now, he's got one major league home run over the fence, but he's stealing bases. He's getting on and he's stealing bases. Those are fantasy point gold as well. So I'm 100% on the Rangers. That's probably my favorite stack of the day. I'm going to go hard on the Rangers stack. Kansas City is my secondary stack, probably tournament only, just because I don't know what Scherzer is going to be able to do in this game. Then they turn it over to the bullpen. And another thing, if I was able to dig in even more, and this was my full-time job every single day, we would dig into the bullpen. We would look at the bullpen numbers. We would look at how they are against certain teams, how they've been. I just don't have time to do that. So that's just another idea if we can get some sponsors in these videos. So I am all in on a Ranger stack. I'm not using Michael Walker at all. I might use Scherzer for one lineup if I make 20, but that's a big if on its own. Then we got the Tampa Bay Rays at the Pittsburgh Pirates. So you got Zach Eflin versus Jared Jones. Now, we know that Jared Jones has been phenomenal. Eflin has been up and down. He's very cheap compared to, if you look at his game logs, he's very cheap compared to when he was 9,300 against the Yankees. Had a good game against LA. But he's kind of come back down to earth. Does sport a 4.12 ERA. Going up against Pittsburgh, he has not faced them this year. Looking at this, pitching on the road, he does have almost a 5 ERA, which does scare me a little bit. He's given up 24 earned runs on the road in 8 starts, but he has had 36 strikeouts. So he is striking out people, but he's also getting absolutely rocked. So that scares me with Eflin a little bit. Then Pittsburgh, we got Jared Jones. He's never faced these guys before. He's 8,800. He's got a 3.76 ERA. He's kind of come back down to earth a little bit lately. He's had a good game against the Dodgers, and then again, it's Coors, so I'm gonna let that one go. Minnesota, they're a good team, except when they play the Yankees. 7.9. But he started off very well here. Really good stretch. Tampa Bay's offense has been pretty blah. Haven't really done a ton. The offense really doesn't scare me as much as it could. Tampa Bay actually strikes out the 6th most out of every single team out there. Tampa Bay striking out 9.07 per game all year. Their last 3, they're averaging 9. Their last 1, 13. And Tampa Bay on the road actually strikes out 9.73 times a game compared to 8.55 at home. So Jared Jones makes a fantastic option, especially since FanDuel now does the single game slates where you take 3 pitchers. That's why we made a new segment called Pitches Be Crazy, because you take 3 pitchers. It's a first place prize of, I think, $2,000. It's split up between however many people get that. And one of our subscribers who also won yesterday, Michael Swick, he actually tied for first place. $1 turned into 50. So he 50 times his money watching our videos. So those are the kind of stories that I want to hear. He hit me up on Twitter and showed me that. But if you guys want to take all of your winnings or your screenshots that you've won with our advice and you want to throw them in the Discord, that'd be awesome. I really want to do a page on the website of just like Wall of Fame or winning or whatever we want to call it, and just post all your screenshots. So if I have your blessing, you send me those pictures. I'm going to put them on the website. I will cross off the names if you want to. But another thing I haven't mentioned before, but if you guys have a a picture, or put our avatar as your Fanduel or DraftKings picture, and it helps obviously promote the channel. It helps a lot of things out. So that being said, looking at this, I love Jared Jones here. Going up against Tampa Bay, they do strike out a ton. That would be one that I would look at for sure. He's the third highest priced pitcher on this early slate, but that is definitely one I'm looking at there. Batting wise, honestly, I'm really not looking at any Tampa Bay bats. The only bats I would consider, probably Pittsburgh. That would be an O'Neal Cruz. That'd be a Yasmani Grandal. I might look at Brian Reynolds, Cabrian Hayes, maybe. I don't know. Just kind of looking at those, I might just completely fade this game outside of using Jared Jones here for one of my pitchers. Then the next game, the Diamondbacks at the Phillies. You got Tommy Henry versus Zach Wheeler. So Henry, another lefty. These Phillies get a face. They just faced Jordan Montgomery yesterday against Zach Wheeler, who's been one of the best pitchers of the year. I mean, he's leading a lot of categories. So we look at him, and he's the highest priced pitcher at 10,100. 2.84 ERA. Has not faced Arizona this year. Arizona on the road, I would rather take the pitcher against them. And you look at this. Wheeler on the road has a 4.35 ERA, but his splits at home, 171 at home in 8 games, 61 strikeouts. Give me Zach Wheeler. Coming off a bad game against Baltimore, minus 5.5. And his price, it did go up, but he's got a better matchup. That was against Baltimore. So I love Zach Wheeler here. I really don't want to look at the Arizona bats. And then we've got, I don't know what we're going to get out of Tommy Henry. He's 5,500. You could throw him in a tournament because he is so cheap, but he's got a 6.23 ERA. Has not faced Philly this year, but on the road, 3.44 ERA. So a little bit better. I mean, way better on the road. But 3 starts. It didn't do anything against Chicago. Has not gone past 5 innings since April 16th. And that was obviously he was up, then he got sent down. Then his last 2 starts after getting called up, he's given up 7 earned runs, 3 home runs, 5 walks, 4 Ks. I want nothing to do with that. I'm stacking the Phillies. They're going to be very expensive as a stack. That's for sure. But you got Trey Turner back. Love Trey Turner. Love Alec Bohm. Those are my top 2 here against Tommy Henry. Then obviously Kyle Schwarber in June smashes. You could look at Bryce Harper against a lefty. I do not mind that. You need to find some value here. Edmundo Sosa or David Dahl, Rafael Marchand, all of these guys could help you balance out this lineup if you're paying up for a Bryce Harper, Alec Bohm, Trey Turner as a stack. But I don't want the Arizona bats. I want Zach Wheeler, and I want the Philly bats, and that's that on this game. Then we got the Twins at the Athletics. We already went over this yesterday, so if you haven't seen it, yesterday's video, it was up between either Bailey Ober or Chris Paddock, who was going to pitch yesterday. Bailey Ober has already had a great game against them this year. I'm going Bailey Ober in this ballpark. It is a pitcher's park, but up against JP Sears. I want nothing to do with Sears. I want all the Bailey Ober, and I want the Minnesota bats. Royce Lewis, I'm taking Royce Lewis as long as he's in this game. Carlos Correa, I'm taking him in this game. Jose Miranda, Carlos Santana. The Twins are my second favorite stack of the day. First is Texas, then comes the Twins. I want Bailey Ober. He just faced this team not too long ago. I believe he had 8 strikeouts in this game. He is also the second best pitcher for the pitches be crazy, and we will talk about that. So I don't want JP Sears. I don't want the Oakland Bats. I want Bailey Ober, and I want the Minnesota Twins as my second favorite stack. If we can somehow fit in a Texas main stack and a Twins secondary stack in the same lineup, whether or not it's 4-3 on FanDuel or maybe 4-4 on DraftKings and get 4 of those, we'll see if we can do that. That would be one of my lineups that I will make on this slate. So then we get to the Red Sox at the Reds. Now, this is a Great American Small Park. We know that this ballpark loves to give up home runs, loves to give up the long ball. If you want to check out what I'm talking about, go to our website, go down to the MLB tab, and then go to ballpark ratings. So I'll just click on it real quick and show you if it loads. Hopefully it loads. My internet's been going, it's like storming. So as you can see, this is obviously Friday, so it has not been updated yet. But we get in here, Great American Ballpark. They rank 23rd in runs. They've had 71 home runs so far this year. 1.9 average per game. They actually ranked 18th out of 30. So they're, not the worst stadium to do it. That's actually surprising to me. Slugging rating, 22 out of 30. There's a ton of information there that says if the wind is blowing out of this ballpark, I want that ballpark to be targeting. So, Nick Pivetta versus Frankie Montas. Looking at this, Pivetta comes in, 3.88 ERA, has not faced Cincy this year. When he's on the road, he's actually got a better ERA on the road, 3.21. And then game logs coming off a decent game here against Toronto, bad game against Philly, but then good game against Atlanta and Detroit, bad game against Milwaukee. So it really just depends on the weather in this one. If we're going to see what we can do at 8,000, I'm okay with him. I still think he's only a tournament option for me. I don't trust him enough at all in this game. The ball flies out of this ballpark so much that I don't think I can trust it enough. Then you got Frankie Montas. Comes in, 4.62 ERA, splits-wise, at home has a 4.36 ERA, so a little bit better. But again, he's been lit up. At home versus the Cubs, only lasted 1.1 innings, 55 pitches, 4 earned runs. Then against St. Louis, 3 earned runs, San Diego, 4 earned runs. I'm probably not using Montas in DFS, but pitches be crazy. He's ranked 3rd, and we'll talk about that. So looking at this, Nick Pivetta for tournaments, I'm okay with, but I'd rather just probably just going to focus on the bats in this matchup over the pitching for both of them. So Montas, I absolutely love Devers today. I love Jarren Duran. Those are my top 2, probably Boston bats. Looking at this cheap option, if Yoshida is in there, David Hamilton would be another one, or Rafaela would be another one that I'd look at. You could look at Tyler O'Neill, but I usually like taking more against lefties in this situation. Then Reds bats against Pivetta. Obviously, Ellie De La Cruz, very expensive, but, fastest guy in the league, can turn a single into a triple pretty quickly. He would be my top one if I'm looking at a red stack. Obviously, Spencer Steer, Stuart Fairchild are there. Candelario, but I think he might still be day-to-day, so that's definitely a little bit suspicious of him. I don't know if I'm going to trust him. You could look at Tyler Stevenson, but I do like Stevenson more against lefties, and that's probably where I'm at. I'm probably not going to have pitching in this one. I'd rather go bats. Obviously, a little bit more heavy on the Boston bats, but I don't mind Cincy whatsoever. Then we got the Orioles at the Astros. We got Corbin Burnes versus Ronel Blanco. They give him an extra day. Blanco now is facing the Orioles, who he's never faced before, but they're a very good hitting team. And then we got Corbin Burnes. He's obviously a stud. He's only faced them 20 plate appearances, so has not seen much of them. But he is expensive. There's a reason. But he's actually cheaper than Ronel Blanco, which is funny. So he comes in, splits-wise, away games, 2.54 ERA. Game logs, 20-plus out of him. Last 4 starts. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it again. The Astros have been beatable this year. They've lost some games. They lost to the White Sox. We used Jonathan Cannon against them, and I think he had like 10 strikeouts against them. Burnes is a better pitcher than Cannon. I love Burnes, specifically being this cheap, but he's 9,100 here on DraftKings. So we look at that. Love me some Corbin Burnes. Definitely a way to go there, especially if you. I just can't believe he's that cheap. And then you got Blanco. Obviously, 243. We know he had a no-hitter. Pitching at home. Does have a 2.83 ERA. 34 fantasy points, 29, then 6.4. Minnesota was 10.9. And then we know right here he got ejected. Now he's come back. He does go pretty deep into games normally. But he's had some stinkers against St. Louis and Minnesota. Baltimore's obviously a great hitting team. I'm probably not paying up for Blanco today. I'll just be honest. I'm probably not using the Astros bats, and I'm probably not paying up for Blanco. I'm probably just going to be going with Baltimore bats. Gunnar Henderson. Love Gunnar Henderson here against Blanco. Love Adley. Love Anthony Santander. Those are my top 3. Santander's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. And even when you pay for him, he's only 4,600. He's been hitting, if we look, let's because he has a 230 ERA batting average, but he has 19 home runs, 48 RBIs, had a fantastic series against the Yankees. Philly, he hit another 2 home runs in that game. Like, he's been very hot this year. That would be probably the big bats that I would use. And then you could find some form of either Ryan O'Hearn or Mountcastle or even Colton Cowser to finish off a 5-man Orioles stack here. So the only bats that I would even consider for the Astros is probably just Jordan. He's going to be expensive, but like if you do a 4-4 stack and you need a one-off batter before your pitchers, Jordan could be that guy, as long as it's not in the same lineup as having Corbin Burnes as your pitcher. So I'm outside of Jordan, I don't love the Astros as a stack today. Then we move to this game, Blue Jays at the Guardians. You got Jose Barrios versus Ben Lively. We come into here. Overall, Barrios in his career, 104 plate appearances, 319 batting average. We know that Cleveland has been hitting very well. I'm curious if it's like one batter. Like Jose Ramirez has 48 of those 104 plate appearances. This is why numbers are kind of skewed. 10 for 44, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, batting .227. Only 3 strikeouts. Josh Naylor, 6 for 13 with a double and a home run, batting .462. Stephen Kwan's 4 for 7 with a home run. You got Daniel Schneemann, 2 for 3 with a home run. So Barrios, we've used Barrios a ton this year. I don't know if I'm going to be using him in this game. I say that because he comes in 7,600. He's already faced Cleveland this year. Did get the W, but hey, 8 hits allowed, 4 earned runs in that game. That's what's kind of crazy to me. He's had good numbers here. He has. And his last start was against this team. So his last start is just coming off against this team. Did get the W there, but only had 6.1 fantasy points. I'm probably not using Barrios here. Splits-wise, he's on the road. On the road, he's got a worse ERA. I'm probably stacking the Guardians here and feeling confident with that. And then Ben Lively, depending on this, I believe his last start probably came against them. Yeah, 4 innings in that game, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, didn't really do much. I'm probably not looking at him. I'm probably not looking at either pitcher. I am looking at the Guardians bats here, though, for sure. Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, top 2 if you are taking that. That's where you're looking at. Stephen Kwan would be another one. Andres Jimenez, all these lefty bats here against Barrios. That's 4. You could even look at Daniel Schneemann, has 1 game against him, has success, would be a cheap option to round out a 5-man stack there. Then Ben Lively, I'm not using him, so the Toronto bats that I would look at would be Davis Schneider, Vladdy would be one, Spencer Horwitz would be another one. That's probably it. Like, I don't trust a lot of other ones. You could look at Orelvis Martinez as a cheap option if you want, if he's even in that game. But overall, I'm not taking the pitchers in here. I love the Guardians more, but I'll have exposure to both sides. Then we got the Mariners at the Marlins. You got Logan Gilbert versus the Jesus Lizard. You've got Gilbert coming in, just kind of looking what he's got, 9,200. Splits-wise, he has not faced Miami this year. Pitching on the road, he actually has a worse ERA, 3.18. But coming off a fantastic 8-inning game against Texas, good game against the White Sox, good game against Oakland, down game against Houston, mid-game against Washington. Like, he's had some really good games. Miami, though, could be sneaky today. I don't know how much exposure I'll have to Logan Gilbert. We will see. Yeah, we will see. Looking at that, the keyword of the day is lemon lime. It's technically 2 words, but lemon lime keyword of the day. But looking here, Logan Gilbert, tournaments, I do not mind. Then you got the Jesus Lizard. What is he going to do? Comes in here, I think, well, or is it AJ Puck? I mean, maybe they think AJ Puck's going to be the opener, and then it's going to be the Jesus Lizard. For whatever reason, we'll definitely pay attention. But then if you've got Luzardo, because he is is he day-to-day now? Now he won't start. Back tightness and was pulled. Okay, so that that was updated since we looked at this. So, Luzardo is out. It looks like it's going to be A.J. Puck. We don't know now. We'll kind of see. A.J. Puck obviously coming off the bullpen. Might be an opener, might be a bullpen day there. So that makes me kind of like the Mariners a little bit more than I would have. So just looking at the Mariners bats here, Cal Raleigh, Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford be my top 3. Josh Rojas could be a cheap option there as well. We kind of just got to wait to see who the Marlins are going to be pitching. And then if we're looking at not taking Logan Gilbert and you want to look at the Marlins bats, Jesus Sanchez, I would look at. I would look at Jake Berger a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Jazz is another one I'd look at. Josh Bell would be another one I'd look at. Those are basically the bats. But again, we have to wait to see who the actual pitcher for the Marlins is going to be. Then we get to the Braves at the Yankees. This, I believe, is the night slate. Yes. So the 4-game night slate, or main. It's weird because it's a main slate, but it's only 4 games. Weather is going to be a concern in this one. Again, 4 games, 8 pitchers. Who are we going to use? I can already tell right now the pitchers I'm not going to use. That might be what we do here. We might not even go all the way through. I'm not using Vasquez. Vasquez comes in with a 5.70 ERA. Has not faced Milwaukee this year, but at home's got a 4.43 ERA. I'm not using Vasquez. I'm not using Quantrill at home. Home games, 3.97 ERA. Not using Quantrill. Fading both of those guys. Zach Plesac just got the call up. 6 innings in that game. Now he gets a game against the Dodgers. For tournaments at 6,800, okay. But other than that, I wouldn't use him. Carlos Rodriguez, I will admit we just used him his last start. Did nothing for us. 4.2 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Only 3 strikeouts. I want nothing there. Mitchell Parker, I love Mitchell Parker for the strikeout game because he's in the top 5, but it's in Coors, and that does scare me. He has not faced Colorado this year. On the road, away, 3.75 ERA on the road. In DFS, I'm not using him. To be honest with you, this main slate is not the best pitching-wise because the game that I would look at would be Stroman and Glasnow, or Stroman and Morton. The weather is a concern, but Glasnow is obviously at the top of my list, so I'm all over Glasnow. If this game gets played, I love both sides of this. I think this could be a high-scoring game. I do not trust Charlie Morton a lot. I would look at, I would for sure look at the Yankees bats and the Braves bats. Stroman has been up and down. It's true. He's had a couple of bad games. If you look at Stroman here, he's got a 3.19 ERA. Splits-wise, has not faced Atlanta this year. On the road, he actually has a better ERA on the road, but they're at home. And then you look at game logs, nothing against Boston, 2.7, 14.6, minus 1.5, 15.7. So it's been a minute. And the strikeouts really haven't been there for Stroman. I'm not using Stroman. I'm not using Morton. I'm using the bats. So the Braves bats, that makes sense to me. Ozuna, Matt Olson, Darno, Jared Kelenic would be a cheap option. Another cheap option would be Ramon Laureano if you want to go in that direction. Then the Yankees bats against Morton. Love Aaron Judge. Love Juan Soto. Love Giancarlo Stanton. Glaber being out, it's now Oswaldo Cabrera. Could be a cheap option on the left side of the plate there. Verdugo's obviously another one. Basically, the only bats in this Yankees lineup that I really don't want much to do with, Jahmai Jones, Trevino, Trent Grisham, and DJ LeMahieu. Other than that, it's free reign for whatever lineup comes out for the Yankees. I give the advantage to the Yankees a little bit, but I could see this being a back-and-forth game coming down to the bullpens. So I don't want much to do there. And then it's Glasnow. Obviously, you love Glasnow here against the Angels. Has not faced them this year. Pitching at home is a little bit worse at home. 3.49 ERA compared to 2.46. He is expensive. This kind of does feel like a trap game here, where the Angels could come through because Glasnow's worse at home. If we're gonna go with that prerogative, Taylor Ward, Logan O'Hoppe, Joe Adell, Luis Rengifo, maybe Nolan Schanuel I would look at there. The Dodgers bats, obviously, Teoscar Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman. It's going to be very expensive for this Dodgers stack, but I think it's the way to go. So, honestly, I don't love, so fading Vasquez, Quantrill, Plesac. Maybe Plesac for tournaments, but that's it. fading Rodriguez. Parker in DFS, I don't know if I can trust him enough. And I don't know if I can trust Stroman or Morton. So not a ton. I don't love this night slate here. Or main slate, I should say. I don't love it. Because you got 2 6 games. Then you got an 8 game and a 9 p.m. game. Very weird Saturday slate. And that's it. That's the breakdown of all of the pitchers, all of the bats, everything we've got to go there. Now, what we're going to do is the new segment sponsored by myself, because I don't have sponsors like we said. Pitches Be Crazy. These are the top 5. Now, these not necessarily the best options, but these are based on how the this is all day. This is based on how the opposing team strikes out, how many times they strike out. And we're just going to go over those stats. So number 1, as of right now, it will depend on who the Marlins pitcher is. Is it AJ Puck? Are they going to call up what's his name? Oh, what's his name? Hold on. Give me Mayer. Mayer. Are they going to call up Mayer? Who's going to pitch? Whoever the pitcher is for the Marlins has the best matchup on paper right now. Seattle strikes out at a clip of 10.04 per game overall in the season. The last 3 games, 9.3 is what they are. At home, or on the road, they strike out 10 times a game. So that leads me to wait and see who the Marlins pitcher is, because whoever it is, they do have the best matchup for pitchers for today. Second one is Bailey Ober at Oakland. Loved Bailey Ober, had 8 strikeouts against them his last game a couple starts ago. Oakland striking out 9.71 times per game. Over their last 3 games, 8.33 times. And at home, they don't strike out a ton, but still 8.95 compared to 10.46 on the road. So Bailey Ober makes number 2. Both of those guys, depending on who it is for Miami, I would use both for DFS. Love Bailey Ober for DFS regardless. The third one, I don't know if I'm going to use him for DFS, but Frankie Montas versus Boston. Boston comes in 9.56 strikeouts per game, 9.62 on the road, and over their last 3, striking out 7.33 times per game. As long as he can get the majority of that being the starting pitcher, I love that for the Pitches Be Crazy. Don't love that for DFS because of this ballpark. Number 4 is Zach Eflin versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh striking out 9.55 times per game, 9 over their last 3, straight 9 there. And then Pittsburgh at home, 8.97 compared to 10.11 on the road. And then number 5 is Mitchell Parker. It's in Colorado, so that's why it scares me a little bit. But Colorado striking out 9.3 times per game, 8.33 averaging last 3 games. And Colorado at home striking out 8.94 times per game at home compared to 9.65 on the road. So those are your top 5. Number 1, whoever the Marlins pitcher is. Number 2, Bailey Ober. 3, Frankie Montas. 4, Zach Eflin. And number 5 is Mitchell Parker. So we look at that. Now it is time to go over the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. This is a longer video than we've had pretty much all year. Might be the longest video we've had all year, but I wanted to bring you guys this information as quickly and efficiently as I can. So hopefully this makes your Saturday just so much better. Sneak off from your wife or girlfriend. Go listen to it in the basement. Go out into the garage. Whatever you're doing. Hopefully you've stuck around to the end. Let's figure out who the top 20 bats are. Now, here we go. Number 1, Aaron Judge. Number 2, Lane Thomas. Number 3, Juan Soto. 4, Alec Boehm. 5, Kyle Schwarber. 6, Jose Ramirez. 7, Jesse Winker. 8, JT Realmuto. 9, or JT's out, sorry. 8, Dalton Varsho. 9, Nolan Jones. 10, Jarren Duran. 11, Bryce Harper. 12, Stephen Kwan. 13, Winfield Perez. 14, Edmundo Sosa. 15, Brenton Doyle. He was day-to-day last I checked, so definitely check that. Next is Emmanuel Valdez. 17 is Eddie Rosario. 18 is Josh Naylor. 19 is David Hamilton. And number 20 is Anthony Volpe. Now, just kind of looking at this, The stacks that I love, Texas, they weren't on there. I get that. I still love them as a stack. Number 1 is Texas. Number 2 is Philly. Love Philly as a stack. Love Cleveland as a stack. Love the Yankees as a stack. And honestly, don't mind Boston as a stack as well if you want to look at 5 stacks for the day. Now we're going to go over the top bats that all have 10 out of 10 matchups. There are more on this list than there were, yesterday's video was like 5 or 6, right? There are a ton here. So let's get going. And it kind of follows it. So number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Lane Thomas. 3 is Juan Soto. 4, Alec Boehm. 5, Kyle Schwarber. 6, Dalton Varsho. 7, Stephen Kwan. 8, Edmundo Sosa. 9, Emmanuel Valdez. 10, Dominic Smith. 11, Marcell Ozuna. 12, Danny Jansen. 13, Christian Yelich. 14, Riley Green. 15, Royce Lewis. 16, Jake Cronenworth. 17, Carlos Santana. 18, Alec Burleson. And 19, Rhys Hoskins. There you have it. The entire day broke down. Hopefully it helps you. If it does, just hit that like on this channel. If you can support the channel by buying some merch, signing up, sending donations, that's awesome. If you can't do that, clicking on the ads, while annoying, helps out the channel more than you know. That's what I've got. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Good luck on this Saturday slate. And as always, bring home the bacon. Peace.